I'm sorry, Heidegger man, do you want to try again?
Yeah, sorry, I got
It's okay.
caught lacking last time. I
It's
was
all good.
Dustin.
It's all good.
Just a quick one. I got confirmed in the Orthodox Church about 4 years ago. No small part thanks to you. So just want to
Awesome.
thank you for that.
Awesome.
Um,
Many years.
but yeah, so my big issue, my big gripe tends to be around like tag, and the specific argumentation around it. So like, I kind of come from like a Kantian background in where I tend to view like noumenal objects as like negative and problematic, and that I don't think we have real knowledge of them. So I think so. Aside from like deified saints, of course, I think that they can access like real knowledge of noumenal objects. But aside from that type of situation, I worry that that type of argumentation could eventually lead to like nihilism.
Well, the transcendental argument for God is not Kantianism, so
No, I know it's not Kantianism. I just think that the Kantian critique could probably like punch a. Well, it could leave someone unprepared. It leaves everyone unprepared, I think.
why? Kantianism is self-refuting.
How's it self-refuting?
Well, because if
I just want.
Kantianism is true, Kant can't know that other minds operate the way that, because other minds would be part of the noumenal realm. So he can't know that that's actually true of other minds.
Yeah, like I said, I think that that's true in the sense of like, you know, saints who undergo theosis, like they absolutely have like
No,
minds
no.
that don't operate.
Did you not hear what I said?
Yeah.
Well, could you
Um,
repeat my argument if you heard what I said?
that the reason it's self-refuting is essentially because he can't make that claim about other minds, only his own subjective perspective.
Yeah. So how? So if Kant's system then can't be true if the phenomenal noumenal distinction is true.
Well, I think it can be true because, like, for instance, if you're reading, like, the ending of Being in Time, Heidegger's only claim to truth on it is first, like, you need to go through the entire method yourself and see if it holds up to your own perspective. And
How is
then,
this all
How-
in the question though?
How does
Like,
that? Yeah. How does that answer the question?
they're just positing. They're positing stuff, and there's a level of consistency, but none of those people are presuppositionalists, right? The whole reason why Kant says what he says is because he believes in some sense manifold that David Hume told him about, because they mechanize like it's all just a bunch of unjustified assertions. So none of it can. There's no way that we can confirm any of that to be true, and that's what the whole problem. That's what's the power of tag. It's like, because it's all autonomous epistemology. None of those people can justify anything they're saying. Well, it's true if this is true, but I can't justify by presuppositions about nature and noumenal and phenomenal distinctions.
Exactly.
I can if, like, there are no actual essences out there and it's a sense manifold, but I can't justify that, like, it's just a bunch of nonsense.
Exactly.
so I would push back on it being nonsense. So, going through like the specifics of how he actually argues for it, I think he specifically around the realm of the noumenal, he does kind of, I think, present a more robust argument than you're presenting, and that I think
I know, but I studied on one of the world's leading both Heideggerian scholars and Kantian scholars. My advisor is I know Kant inside and out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work through the audience with it, but I'm trying to reduce. Like, he's brilliant. I'm not saying that, like, you know, there's a level that I really do love Kant and what these guys do, but it's all unjustified because it's premised on further presuppositions that are unjustified, that they can't. And it's only true if what they presuppose is true.
It's only as true as the basic assumptions that David Hume argues.
So I'm not saying they're not brilliant or something like that. I'm saying that's the whole problem with the history of philosophy and autonomous epistemology, is that none of those people can actually justify that's true. It ends up falling into an Agrippa's trilemma. Oh, either it's vicious to say, well, it's true if it's true. Well, how do I confirm that? Well, if it's true, then that's how I confirm that it's true.
Also, by the way, it's not the Orthodox position that only deified saints see the essences of created things. That's not the Orthodox position.
I'm just saying, like, so more like the doctrine of the broken noose. So I'm more or less. So when I was reading Kant, I was also reading Saint Gregory of Palamas, and this probably influenced how I was interpreting Kant, which is that I was essentially seeing like a type of essence energy distinction between the being or the thing in itself and the thing as it appears for the other.
Not the essence. That's not the essence energy distinction. And by the way, no, it's not. It's totally different.
No. I know it's first off, Kant's a Protestant, so I don't think he would ever get it right, even if he was trying to get it.
Well, they're not even analogous in terms of. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying like what the essence energy distinction is in terms of God's actions, and the distinction between that and his essence is not the same thing as distinguishing Ding on Zik versus the phenomena that we experience. Did you read the Prolegomena?
Yeah, I've read the Prolegomena,
okay.
But
Okay, so that's him saying that basically my whole system is going to be built on the basics of Hume.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Hume's wrong, then the whole project's wrong.
But it's also not, it's also kind of a refutation of Hume in a way.
Right, but but what I was arguing is that it doesn't refute Hume, because if you don't know other people's minds, then you can't say that there's a phenomenal numinal distinction. How do you know the phenomenal numinal distinction is true?
You can experience the phenomenal numinal distinction yourself through practicing it, meaning existing in a world that maintains order and has all those things, and then when you engage with mathematics, you run into like Gödel's incompleteness theorem.
None of that is a justification for the proposition that there is a basic metaphysical distinction between the phenomenal and the numinal. That's the assumption that you cannot prove by empirical sense data. So how do you know that that's true?
So I'm in this operation, I'm not operating off of like correspondence theory of truth. I'm operating off of more Heidegger's aletheia, the experience of truth.
How do you know that Heidegger's conception of a direct experience of truth is true?
I don't know it's true. I do know that
then the arguments are not justified.
Yeah. I do. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, do you not think that Kantianism is built on some of the basic assumptions? That's what Father Deacon was saying, was like, these are just guys asserting things. And that's what autonomous epistemology is guys asserting things. Well, so how do we know that that theory of truth is right, or that assertion is where we begin our philosophy? Maybe it is, but what's the principle by which we know that? And what does that have to do with correspondence theory?
So how that has something to do with correspondence theory. Okay, let me break that down. 2 seconds. Haven't defended my opinion since, university.
Well, justification is different from a correspondence theory of truth. So we're just asking, like, what's the justification for these, starting point assumptions of these systems?
So the justification for them would be the transcendental logic. In Kant's theory, it's like we have an understanding of the three-dimensional space, therefore we have to come to the world with an understanding of three-dimensional space.
Yeah, but every time you say we, it's begging the question about the problem that I raised, which is that there's no way to know that that's a universal feature of human minds to operate that way. All Kant can know, basically it reduces to solipsism, is what I'm saying.
I can see how it would do that, but that's only if you like restrict cognition to like your own mind space. I think if you
how do you not if the phenomenal numinal distinction is true?
Because before you can even engage in like the thought process, you have to have like a linguistic mode that is, encultured by the people around you, specifically your parents and the environment. So you have to already exist in the world to have like the cognitive capacity.
That's not the numinal phenomenal distinction.
Yeah, that's me going to phenomenology of perception. Sorry. I leaped ahead of Kant.
So we have no way to confirm the numinal and phenomenal distinction. And first of all, it's totally incompatible with orthodoxy.
Okay.
It's premised on the rejection and abolition of essences, and that we're just, in a sense, manifold, right? that you don't have direct contact with actual essences in the world. But Orthodoxy maintains that. So you can't be like, well, I'm going to make a Kantian phenomenology and then move it into a phenomenological, description of those systems are incompatible. Because again, they're all premised on things about real essentialism that modernity,
yes,
whether it's Descartes, Kant,
Hume,
Husserl, Hume, Heidegger, they all reject. Like, they're all responding to something that's fundamentally anti-Orthodox. And that's real essentialism.
Yep. I'll always submit to the direction of the church, honestly, on whatever opinion I have.
It makes sense. Like, I was talking to my students. I don't want to say it's just dumb, because, again, I do appreciate where they're at and what they're trying to work with. They're doing the best with what they got,
the attempt to bring German idealism into Orthodoxy is what you get in what's the Universalist guy that got excommunicated by the Russian church? It's Bulgakov, right? And Losky has a great critique of Bulgakov because Bulgakov thought, I got to bring Hegelianism and Fichte, and I got to bring German idealism and all this. This is the real system of Orthodoxy, and it's just like, what does this have to do? This has nothing to do with Orthodoxy. We have the Orthodox phronema. It's patristic. We don't need that. Or Adamite. What is an Orthodox Adamite?